House of Dragons, the Green Council, the penultimate episode, I think, episode number 9.
Yep.
Guys, what do you think of Team Green this week?
I mean,
yes.
yo, they a mess. Like they're a whole mess. Like, what can you say to that? Like you're so disorganized, so discombobulated. Like you just don't. You get it, but you don't really have it, and nobody's really in agreement with each other. And Sir Kristen is really just a giant bitch. Like, remember whenever he was just like almost honorable, and then now he's just like he's a petty bitch.
He's a bit. That's pretty much on the money for me. He's a bitch.
He's a whiny bitch. He enjoyed it. He enjoyed what he did, and now he's blaming the princess. I mean,
it's like, yo, you took your rage out at everybody. What, like, bro?
Yeah, I thought him and the older Kingsguard, they were ready to go. I was
kind of hoping they were going to go into it, but Sir Tristan isn't going to die this early. So
no, he's the problem is he's actually pretty good. Like he's a good fighter. Remember, he beat Matt Damon earlier on. So he's here for the long haul, I think, and he's just going to be that character that's going to be sitting there the whole time, which we think, man, I can't wait for him to die. Yeah, I can't wait for him to die. And the same with feet fetish guy. Oh, that was terrible. The queen.
That was so fun. Because you know what's funny? Whenever she first took off her shoes and put her feet up, I was just like, this is a really weird resting pose, but it's okay, all right? It's very casual going on. And then when I realized what was going on, I was like, oh.
Well,
I'm like, this is an interesting trade-off here.
I know. As I said, the look on her face was, God, this is disgusting. But of all the things that go on in Westeros, it could be worse.
I don't know if it could have actually been worse. Like, I feel like for some reason that was worse than actually just having sex with the dude.
You reckon? No.
I feel like that is like it's eye leprosy that occurred. Like what happened with the king. Having sex would just be like, yo, you dirty, but
just to remind you that things could get worse. Don't forget Ramsay Snow, right? All the things he used to do. That guy was definitely someone we are waiting to die. And that was freak. As you said, they're all freaks though. Like Aegon, for example, and the kids in the fighting ring and all that stuff. And
I'm more so laughing at the fact that there's a clear Targaryen kid just sitting in the corner, and they just have to keep going on. And it's like, so just no one's gonna do anything about this now.
So we're gonna adopt him and maybe make him a sponsor child. Or
he's
work around the house.
The next heir onto the throne, bastard or not.
But with getting back to the heir and who's going to be on the throne, surely they've got to start evolving their protocols for becoming king to, if one brother's not good enough, maybe he can actually abdicate and give it to the other brother. Because Aegon is so not ready for this, right? He said it himself. He doesn't want to do it. He's going to be Joffrey. He's going to be bad. You thought that maybe someone could have said, can we just, he said he doesn't want to do it. Can we just accept the fact and just move on to number 2?
He doesn't want to do it. But it's mostly the people who don't want to do it that are actually good at it. Like, take the last...
See, I would make this argument for this point. It's those who don't want to do it humbly. Like, humbly don't want to do it. Aegon just wants to waste time. It's not that he wants to because he doesn't feel humbly ready to not do it. He doesn't want to do it because he just wants to party and fuck and rape and just go about his life with no response. He is an entitled, spoiled kid. That is all that he is.
And now we've got your frozen screen. I'm going to continue to sink the boot into you, JP. And what do you think about that, JP? Nothing? Well, then take this. This is great. Yeah. I mean, so JP has said on record, people who don't want it, usually become good leaders. So let's now write down for a record for future episodes and seasons. JP thinks that Aegon is going to be a good king, and let's just see what happens to that prediction, right? JP says because he's gonna be. He's got Joffrey written all over him, or maybe Joffrey's got.
I don't think he's full Joffrey because Joffrey was always a sociopath from day one. He's just a slapdick.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
No worries.
And his brother's waiting in the wings though. His brother is waiting, like he's gonna knock him off. I reckon at one point. He knows he's got the goods, and Aegon doesn't.
But that's the thing. Like again, it because of the fact that it parallels so much to Viserys and Daemon, that it makes sense that Aemon would be that true foil. But I also think that he's too ready to do it to take the throne. If that makes sense?
Yeah.
Everything about him seems so perfectly set for him, and also to be the biggest psychopathic king, which I think is actually, more of what the line that I don't think he's capable of getting it.
True.
Yeah.
I
OP.
Yeah, I agree with Giff. That's what I was saying earlier. Like, people who really don't want to, take up roles, the mantle of leadership, are usually the ones better to do it because they're not power hungry. They don't want the power. They know that it's a responsibility. You know what I'm saying?
But I mean, that's definitely not Damon's problem, is it? As you were saying, like he's too keen. I think he sees the chance to seize power and be powerful and maybe be an absolute bastard. So, I mean, it could be a civil war within a civil war. Apparently, it does get really, really messy. From what I've tried to avoid the spoilers.
Yeah, because they go pretty strong. I've listened. I'm just here to watch.
It's everywhere, but apparently it gets really messy. It's worse than British politics at the moment. If you know what's going on there.
There's no 6-week quit of the king.
No. And yet,
I got this, and I just didn't go back and read the other source material, so I don't get spoiled with the TV series. But it's deviated. It's also deviated.
Don't tell us. We don't want to know. We like ignorance is bliss for us.
I mean,
same with the Lord of the Rings, because both those. Silmarillion and, the Dance of the Dragons been out forever. People are just talking about them like, everyone knows what's going to happen here. No, please don't tell us. Ignorance is bliss. But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing about the ending. Considering everything we've said, right, we can see the mess, the train wreck coming from a mile away. We can see this family up on stage. And the whole cheering thing that we felt the shudders of this crowd. And then up she jumps with the dragon, right? And that I honestly thought it was going to be Matt Damon. I think I said it was going to be Matt Damon coming down. But then I realized he probably didn't have time.
I thought that was going to be Rhaenyra that was coming up through there.
But they wouldn't have had time because I don't think they kept it all pretty hush-hush for a while there. And, we've got to remember they don't have mobile phones, so it's not as if someone sent them on Instagram or whatever saying it's coming. The logistics of Westeros got to be true to those. But up she comes with the dragon. And here's the thing that really got... At first, probably everyone, I thought, that is cool. And I still think it's cool, right? Just the big explosion, coming to piss on their parade. Coming to, you always know with Martin, right? Martin, he builds things up and then he tears them down, right? And so you just knew that something was going to happen during the ceremony. But here's the other thing that's pure Martin as well. She looks like she's a kind of, I won't say great character, but she's someone I think we'd all think would be a bit of a good guy. How many people does she kill? All right. How many folks does she kill bursting up through that floor, right? Just people coming. They were told to come to the king. They diligently came, done the right thing. Then she has the ability and the opportunity to kill everyone on that stage and put an end to all the shit that is about to go down. And she flies away. So the peasants, they crush them each other. Like you see them up against walls and dying all over the place. But the rich, the powerful, and the oppressive, she just flies off. And I was like, oh! I didn't think about it at the time, but the more I thought about it, I thought, but that's classic again. George Martin. The peasants suffer. The rich, well, they suffer too.
But they don't suffer. They don't have the highest direct effect.
But they don't get
thrown away.
They don't get just thrown out like garbage. Although Crispin gets hold of you, he'll probably slam your head against the desk and you're dead in a minute. But I just thought that ending was super cool. And then I thought about it and I said, well, that's pure Westeros, right?
Let's remind our friends to please click on the subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you know when we have new videos out.
Subscribe!
Subscribe! Oh, God.